There are two things going on at the moment that are most likely unnoticed by 99% of the ECOMI and VEVE investors, and they are really important. One of these could be potentially bad or harmful for the ECOMI token, and one of these could be extremely bullish for the VEVE collectibles. Hey everyone, it's the Patient Hodler coming at you with another video, and in this one we are going to go over these two topics in detail, of which one could be with negative consequences in the short or at least in the midterm for the ECOMI tokens, depending on how the whole case plays out. And the second one is about a new vertical that we are expecting, and I think we might know already what is coming to the app, because we have found some very little tiny hidden evidence that could point in this direction. But before we start, please keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor and not your financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape full degen into the ECOMI token and or the VEVE collectibles, or sell everything off, or whatever you do. This is your choice. Also, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider smashing up the like button to a new all-time high. Subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed yet. Most of the people that are watching this video are already subscribed, but over 30% of you are not subscribed, and it's absolutely free. So please go down there, go off of the full screen quickly, like and subscribe the video. Also tap the bell to always get notified whenever I upload a video or start a live stream. Also, I want to quickly thank my rare hodlers, my Patreons, my channel members for always supporting this journey, for always holding the line throughout this bear market. And with that out of the way, let's get finally started. So, as you can see, I am out in the fields. It is a beautiful late summer day, and we have to talk about something that is not as beautiful and not as bullish as I wish things would be. But if you were subscribed to this channel, you would know that we are usually down for all the moonboyish and degen stuff. But today there has to be something else, and please don't consider this as funding my own investment or so. I think it is important that you get all the information. If you hold at least one ECOMI token or at least one VEVE collectible, then you should know about everything that is going on in this project. I will try to make a very complicated and unsexy and dry matter as entertaining and as easy to understand as possible. I really hate law-related stuff, and it's super dry and complicated. So I try to just get this out as smooth as possible. So, where do we start? A couple of years ago at GoChain, there was a guy named Ben Godenzi, and he was a pre- and post-launch ICO, token ICO consultant for GoChain. And after that, he also worked with ECOMI in launching the ECOMI token. He worked on the tokenomics. He was just involved in the early stages of the token design, as it seems, as he himself describes it. And there is a video of Foster Hilt where basically he reads a conversation with Ben Godenzi. So if you want to know the full story from the point of view of Foster and Ben Godenzi, then you can go there. But the important thing is that ECOMI and Ben Godenzi did not part ways in a very good manner, as it seems. And I was not invested at this time, but from reading the articles, it seems that Ben Godenzi was not only an advisor, a pre and post ICO advisor and designer of tokenomics, but he was also an early investor, and he made the allegations apparently that the ECOMI team lured him, or at least made him invest 350 Bitcoin and 170 ETH into the project, and promised ECOMI tokens, billions of ECOMI tokens and Orbis shares in return. Business Desk first reported on the case between ECOMI and its directors against MB Technology in 2020, when the Court of Appeal ruled use assets could be frozen pending a Singapore court ruling. The Singapore suit was settled in 2021 after MB Technology claimed
$3.2 million US, saying ECOMI had falsely induced it to invest round about 350 Bitcoin and 170 Ethereum in the project. However, a judgment published this month shows the fight continues in the New Zealand courts.
And then this whole thing went not to court, but was something that the lawyers had to deal with, because basically in 2020 Ben Godenzi claimed that he had not received the promised amounts of ECOMI tokens and of cashback and of shares and whatever the deal was. And we have not clear insight into how the deal was with ECOMI, how the deal was maybe after a while with ECOMI, and so on. What we know is that the company of Ben Godenzi made allegations against ECOMI and demanded $3.2 million cashback from the ECOMI team, and this whole thing was apparently settled, according to Business Desk New Zealand, in the end of January or beginning of February. And since then, I think everyone who was already monitoring that process thought that this is all over. And we have to see that ECOMI is seated and registered in Singapore, while the Orbis, the mother foundation that holds ECOMI and VEVE, with their main shareholders, which are David Yu, Dan Crothers, and a venture capital firm called Blackbird, they are invested in this Orbis, and they are seated in New Zealand. So this is very important for the next part that we are going to see here, and we are also going to read into some parts of these articles that I have found here. So despite the settlement of the allegations against ECOMI, there are still some new claims against the Orbis mother by Ben Godenzi with his MB Technologies, and there are new demands on the table. And as it appears, the Orbis, the ECOMI VEVE team, tried to throw this case out by saying that all these things have been already settled in Singapore with the allegations against ECOMI and whatever has been paid. And I think there's another demand of 11 billion ECOMI tokens on the table. And apparently a court, a judge of New Zealand ruled that this whole thing will go to trial.
I want to quickly give credit to Xavier Torres, who brought all this to my attention and made me aware of these articles. Without him, I wouldn't know of these articles. So let's take a look here into what they write about the New Zealand case and allegations. Last month, Justice Feroz Jagos, I don't know if I said that right, presided over a preliminary hearing in the case in the High Court at Auckland. MB Technology wants damages, claiming Orbis or ECOMI agreed to transfer up to 11.8 billion tokens to it if MB invested or acquired shares in Orbis to a Bitcoin equivalent of 1.075 millions. MB paid the money under agreements in 2018 and 2019 and then asked to be paid tokens in May 2020, but they were not paid. MB wants the tokens or the damages. In the Singapore suit, MB alleged ECOMI had failed to pay its some 64.5 billion OMI tokens and refund 115,000 US. This is insane because 64.5 billion OMI tokens are the equivalent of more than 20% of the currently circulating supply and around 10% of the supply that was originally emitted. The full and final settlement documentation of that action expressly said, for the avoidance of doubt, this clause does not apply to New Zealand Orbis action. MB Technology then added further claims to the NZ suit, saying either ECOMI or Orbis failed to pay tokens in partial settlement for its investment. The issue for the hearing under Justice Jagos was this new claim that ECOMI contended was a derivative claim of the Singapore action which would be prohibited by the settlement agreement. However, the judge disagreed with ECOMI. It was not settled with the discontinued proceedings. Its pleading in this proceeding is not abusive. It does not stand to be struck out. At the same hearing, Yu and his companies counterclaimed, but the judge said the case must go to trial.
And this is obviously a bad thing, because if Bango Danzy gets billions and billions of ECOMI tokens, we know that this might, or a share of this, or everything might end up on the market. So far, the story, and you draw your own conclusions. Now, the next important point here is something that happened during the same time, because as we have seen, this article about the ongoing process in New Zealand has come out in the end of June. Now we had July, and then in the beginning of August, you remember, if you were subscribed to my channel, you know that there was a very mysterious, obscure OMI draw together from 20,000 wallets of GoChain OMI to sum up 30 billion OMI and then convert it to ERC20. And I'm not saying that this is related. Maybe you can do the math and draw some conclusions, but I just want to give you this fact to think over, because let's say you are a general in the medieval age and you need to show some strength when you are besieging a city. You would draw together your troops to show how strong you are. And I will leave it with this. I don't say it has to be like that, but I want to put out the possibility that it could be like that. And yeah, so this is something that we need to observe. You know, we have been observing the whale activities very closely. We had our finger on the pulse of the GoChain, and now we are kind of blind because on ERC it's not that transparent anymore. However, everything that we will see in articles and news, we will put out here for you to know. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this. That could this whale transaction have something to do with this ongoing process, and what do you think about new demands by MB Technologies, i.e. Bango Danzy, against ECOMI, VEVE, Orbis, or at least ECOMI and Orbis. I think VEVE is not part of the whole thing. And with that, let's get to the more bullish part here. So one of the people in the German VEVE Telegram group, if you are German, you should definitely head over there and take a look, because this group is great. Shout out to the German VEVE Telegram group, everyone who is constantly in there putting out great information. And they have found on the decon side an interesting hint. And apparently on the DesignerCon site, there was the announcement of the Patrick Hughes event and the lineup with a clear date when it will happen. And if you scroll and push to the side, apparently there was a placeholder for the Rolling Stones. And this is very interesting because it didn't have a date, so it seems to be cancelled and wasn't part of DesignerCon. I don't know if it has anything to do with the new vertical, but more likely than not, it could have something to do with the new music verticals that we have heard also in the latest community update by ECOMI and VEVE, that we are going to get sports and music as new NFT verticals on the app. And seeing the Rolling Stones there makes me believe that we could see Rolling Stones music NFTs first on the VEVE app. And obviously, I don't have to say how big this is, how big the following of the Rolling Stones is, how many fans, hardcore fans and super fans of the Rolling Stones are out there. Just let's look at how many people are following. I think I can display this here. I don't even know at this point in time, but if I find it, I will display it here. Another thing that comes to my mind when I think about music NFTs is that in some of these latest updates, David and Dan were sitting with some, I don't know if it was a photo or a video or a community update, but they had some AC/DC related shirts on, which was also very interesting to me. However, if those music NFTs would come with such a big following, I would be extremely more bullish on the VEVE NFTs, as I'm already. Because if all this following is coming to the VEVE app, and these people are not only Rolling Stones fans exclusively. Everyone who is a Rolling Stone fan is also a potential investor in Marvel NFTs, in Disney NFTs, in comics, in art collectibles, and whatever other stuff that could be interesting, like Star Wars vehicles, like Star Trek vehicles that we are going to see this month. And and the fact that this was on the side of DesignerCon also shows that there are overlaps between the different collector scenes that could be very beneficial for the, in my eyes, very scarce collectibles on the VEVE app if you include the potential of these masses coming into the VEVE app. So let me know in the comments below what you think about the speculation that the Rolling Stones might be the first music NFT. And if that happens, it will be thanks to the guy of the German VEVE Telegram group that found this, that we know it first. So you have heard it first here on this channel because of them. Shout out to the German VEVE Telegram group for this. And with that said, wherever you are on this world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon, and see you in the next video.